Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Glacial Geek 9th edition battle report. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is the first 9th edition game that I have played and is the first 9th edition game that is up here on the channel. Very excited to do it. Also back to doing some battle reports, hopefully keeping them going at a steady pace. We'll see what the situation allows, but I'm going to try to keep back on getting these back into a schedule. But excited to be back on the table, rolling some dice, moving some models, and let's be honest, probably losing. But we're excited here to check it out. The 9th edition of Warhammer 40,000. Fresh off the presses, getting in here and trying out these new rules. And even some of the new models, like the Outriders from Indomitus, the Lieutenant, the Captain, and then some Eradicators. So, the story that we've got going on here is that the Dark Angels have been pressing and tracking down Ahriman and a warband of the Thousand Sons that have been making their way through this sector of space, and they arrived on this planet to try to unleash one of their dark rituals to continue whatever dark machinations that Ahriman has. And the Dark Angels decided not to let that happen and have descended on the planet themselves to try to take the war to them. So that is the story that we've got going on here. We are going to be doing one of the brand new missions from 9th edition called Frontline Assault. It is a strike force size game. And essentially there are 4 objectives on the table. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of these objectives will score as the primary mission, because there's primaries, secondaries, and then you get 10 points if your army's fully painted. So everyone on this channel will always get that free 10 points, which is great. But the primary mission of this game is at the end of your battle round of your command phase. I believe it's at the end of your command phase. You score 5 points if you control one objective. You score 5 points if you hold 2 or more objectives. So that'd be, if you hold 2, you would get 10 points. You also score an additional 5 points if you control more objectives than your opponent. So if I hold 2 objectives, my opponent holds 1, then I would score 15 points because I held 1, I held 2, and I held more. So that's how you go. You score your points at the end of the command phase that way progressively. You can score a maximum of 45 points during a game, the 5 rounds of a regular 40K game, maximum on the primary there. Secondary, we chose 3 secondary objectives each from the list that they have there, including 1 in the mission. I can't remember one of them right now for mine, so we will tell you those in a second. But before we go any further then, let's just show you the 2 armies that are going to be fighting it out. So for the Dark Angels, I'll be running a battalion detachment. Leading off the detachment, we have a Primaris Master with a master-crafted power sword and a relic shield. We have Sammael and Sableclaw, and we have a Primaris Lieutenant with a storm shield and plasma pistol. We have 3 5-man intercessor squads. Okay. We have a 3-man outrider squad. We have an impulsor. We have a 7-man Black Knight squad. We have a Dark Talon. We have a 3-man Eradicator squad. And last but not least, we have a 10-man Deathwing Knight squad. And for the Thousand Sons, he'll be running a battalion detachment as well. Leading it off, we have Ahriman on a disc and an Exalted Sorcerer on a disc. We have a 20-man Zangor squad with a Twist Bray, a Brayhorn, and an Icon of Flame. We have 3 10-man Rubric Marine squads. Each squad has a Soul Reaper cannon and an Icon of Flame. We have 3 Rhinos with Combi Bolters and Havoc Launchers. And last but not least, we have 3 5-man Scarab Assault Terminators with Soul Reaper cannons. Alright, so those are the armies. The secondaries that we have chosen. My opponent has chosen Slay the Warlord, which is 6 points for killing my Warlord, who will be my Primaris Captain, or Primaris Master, since I am a Dark Angel. He has also chosen Attrition, so he gets 4 points at the end of each battle round that he has killed more units than I have. And he also chose, what was the other one that we had here? Engage on all fronts, which is having units, at least 1 unit, wholly within 3 table quarters at the end of your turn. You score 2 points for each of those, and you score 3 points if you have at least one unit wholly within each table quarter of all 4 table quarters. And they all have to be more than 6 inches from the center of the battlefield. So pretty cool there. He's very mobile and hopefully very killy is what he's thinking here. My army, I've chosen 3 of them. I've chosen Abhor the Psyker, which is you can't choose it if you have any Psykers, but which I don't have. So if I kill a character Psyker, I score 5 victory points, and each non-character Psyker that I kill, I score 3 victory points, which against Thousand Suns is a very good choice. I then chose Raise the Banner High, which means that I have to perform an action at the end of my movement phase with an infantry unit on an objective. And what I can do is I can raise my banner, which is I can't do anything essentially until the end of my turn. But at the end of each of my command phases, I score a victory point for each objective that has a banner raised, and it will stay raised until my opponent controls that objective at the end of any phase. And then I will score 1 victory point at the end of the game for every objective that I have a banner raised on there cumulatively throughout this. And then I chose Vital Ground, which is the mission-specific secondary. Each of the missions have their own secondary, so this one's a mission-specific secondary. I will score at the end of my command phase 2 points for these, if I control these 2 objectives, for each of those 2 that I control, basically the ones that are outside of deployment zones, and I score 3 victory points if I control my opponents. So, those are our secondaries. Going over deployment now, I've got my Dark Talon over here on the side here. I've got a 5-man Intercessor squad and my Primaris Lieutenant back over here. I've got my Outrider squad here in the middle. I've got another 5-man Intercessor squad over here on the objective. I've got Sammael and the Black Knights over here, and I've got my Impulsor with my 5-man Intercessor squad and the Primaris Captain inside of it. In Deep Strike, I have my 10-man Deathwing Knight squad, and I spent command point to place my Eradicators in strategic reserves, so they can start coming in turn 2 from any of the table edges, which is pretty exciting. So, going over deployment now for the Thousand Suns. We've got a Rhino over here with a 10-man Rubric squad inside, along with Ahriman back behind it. We have the 20-man Zangor squad around his objective over here. We've got another Rhino over here with a 10-man Rubric squad inside. My opponent spent 1 CP for Inferno Bolts, I can speak, on his Combi Bolter there, which makes them AP -2, which is pretty good. And he's got his Exalted Sorcerer behind it. We've got another Rhino with a 10-man Rubric squad inside of it. And he has his 3 squads of Terminators in Deep Strike Reserve. So, that is deployment. Essentially the way it worked is we rolled off, my opponent won, so he started deploying, and we alternating back and forth, one at a time, placing units, and now we will roll off to see who will get to choose who goes first in this game. So there's just a straight roll off, no pluses or minuses for finishing early or not finishing early. The last roll didn't make any difference, and there is no seize the initiative. It's just this roll. So we will now roll off. My opponent rolled a 1, I rolled a 2, so I will choose to go first. So, oh, that's right. No, because you can't spend CP to reroll that. The CP reroll is changed, ladies and gentlemen. You can still spend CP to reroll a 1 into a 1, and I've got a t-shirt for that. But at the same time, you can't spend it on everything. So they've changed it now. There will be specific circumstances that they outline that you can spend your CP to reroll those 1s back into 1s. So, but I decided that I will go first. So we'll come back to you after the movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here. This unit stayed still back on the objective. My Outriders moved up over here. My Black Knights moved up over here. Sammael fell in behind them. My Impulsor moved up here, and my Intercessor squad and my Captain disembarked. And my Dark Talon advanced up over that way. I spent 1 CP on Speed of the Raven, and I actually got it back because my Warlord trait is Grand Strategist, so I get to roll a 5+ and got it back. And since he had disembarked from the Impulsor before I did that, spent that CP, he was on the table and he was able to get me back that CP. My opponent tried to get back, but couldn't. He didn't, failed on the roll there. So leaving me still at 11 CP, or 12 CP now, because I got 1 at the beginning of my command phase for there. So I'm left with 12 CP. My opponent has 11 CP for spending the 1 on that bolters. And I spent 1 on putting the eradicators into strategic reserves. So at the end of the moon phase, these guys are going to start an action of raising the banner for my secondary. I had first thought about doing it on these guys and maybe on the Primaris captain over there, because it says 1 or more infantry units can start to raise the banner, and it basically until the end of the turn they will be raising the banner. But if you read in the action section, it says only no more than 1 unit can perform an action in any given turn. So it means that they could both start it, but only one of them would be able to complete it. So as opposed to taking off his aura, because characters who perform actions, they lose their aura abilities, or taking away their ability to shoot. I figured let them do their thing for now. Let these guys raise the banner while they're back here anyway. So that is going to be the movement phase. This guy is also going to drop the bomb onto these guys here. So let's roll that now. I roll a d6 for every model in the unit to a maximum of 10 dice. Every 4+ is a mortal wound onto those guys. So let's check it out. All right. The ones are coming in full force right here. So 5. So completely statistically average there with 5 mortal wounds. Not bad start there. So we'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so now Sammael's going to start us off in the shooting phase. He's going to fire everything into that Zangor squad. So we're going to start with the Twin Heavy Bolter. No longer suffering the -1 for moving because of the fact that that's only infantry now. So he will have 6 shots with the Twin Heavy Bolter, hitting on 2s. That's going to be all hits. Strength 5, toughness 4, so looking for 3s to wound. That's going to be 4 wounds. It's turn 1, so Devastator Doctrine is in effect, so that's going to be AP -2, but they don't care because they are Zangors, so we're going to have 4 5-up invul saves. Ooh, not making any of them, so that is going to be 4 more dead. And here comes the Twin Assault Cannon. Rerolling because of his ability there. That's going to be all hits, pretty good. Strength 6, so again, 3s to wound. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more saves that need to be made here. Because these are going to be, again, AP -2, but 5-up invul save will trump that. Making 3 of them, so that's going to be another 6 dead. And now my Outriders here are going to fire into them. They've got twin bolt rifles, so they are 30-inch range. Rapid fire 2, strength 4, AP -1. So these are going to be 12 shots because they are in rapid fire range of those Zangors that they are shooting at. He's going to be hitting on 3s. No rerolls this time because Sammael is not in range over there. And then these are going to be strength 4, so 4s to wound. That is going to be 3 wounds at AP -1. But AP doesn't matter when you got 5-up invul. Ooh, doesn't make any of them. Anyways. And now my 5-man intercessor squad here is going to fire into them as well. 5 shots because they are not in rapid fire range. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1 because of the Primaris Master over there. That is going to be all hits. Strength 4, 4s to wound. Getting 3 wounds. So that's going to be 3 at AP -1. But no, that's going to be 2 more dead, and that is the squad wiped. All right, so now my Dark Talon is going to fire everything into Ahriman because I was able to clear off the Zangors over there, and it makes Ahriman the closest model to him. So he's going to fire everything into him. I'm going to do the heavy, the Rift Vortex Cannon first. So it's going to be heavy D3 shots, getting 2 shots. These are going to be hitting on 2s because he has Strafing Run, which gives him, oh no, he's got Fly ability, doesn't he? Yes. So he has Fly, so I don't get the +1 because of Strafing Run, because he has Fly. But I don't suffer the -1 because that's only on infantry now. So it's going to be 2 shots here, hitting on 3s. That's going to be 2 hits, strength 10, so wounding on 2s. That's going to be 2 wounds. These are AP -3, but Ahriman has a 3-up invul save. Make it on both. And now the Hurricane Bolters firing into him. It's going to be 24 shots because he's in rapid range there. These are going to be hitting on 3s again because Strafe and Run does not kick in. Come back to that. That's 18 hits. These are going to be wounding on 4s. Come back to that. All right, so that was 9 wounds. These are going to be 9 3-up saves for Ahriman over here. Failing 1, 2.
Yep.
Just 3s, yeah. So it's just 2 there. So he takes 2 wounds. So now my Black Knights here are going to fire into his Rhino over here. Because he's on the terrain, I get to draw a line of sight to him normally, even though this is obscuring and over 5 inches tall. Normally that would mean that I would have to draw it so that it never crosses over the terrain, which for area terrain includes the base. So if it had crossed there and it was over 5 inches, I couldn't draw a line of sight to him. But because he's on there, you can see and be seen through it without that problem there. So they are now they can draw a line of sight to him here. So they're gonna supercharge, and I'm gonna spend 1 CP on Weapons of the Dark Age. So now I'm going to roll with them here. So we gotta do it one at a time because otherwise they can blow up. And that's just the way it is. So the Plasma Pistol on the Assault Intercessors, the Sergeant can take a Plasma Pistol. It's changed the wording on the Supercharge so that on an unmodified wound roll or a hit roll of a 1, it slays the model. So I think going forward, there's no modifier here anyway, but I think going forward, all Plasma is going to be that. So if you get a +1, I don't think it's going to let you auto pass not killing yourself because it would become a 2. And -1, you're not going to kill yourself on a 2 or a 3. Regardless as well. So I think it's beneficial because there was a lot more negative modifiers to hit than positive modifiers to hit, in my opinion. And I think it makes it pretty good. So no pluses, no minuses, only 1s will kill you, but that's fine. So we are going to roll with them one at a time here. These are going to be hitting on 3s. Rerolling because of Sammael. Okay, so that's going to be 1 dead already. Rerolling because of Sammael. Okay. That's 2 hits. Rerolling because of Sammael. That's a hit. That's 2 hits. Rerolling because of Sammael. Okay, that's a miss, but not a kill, which is good. And the last one is going to be 2 hits. So it's 1 guy dead. And the rest of these are hits. These are going to be Strength 8, AP -3, 3 damage because of Supercharge, and Weapons of the Dark Age. So Strength 8 to Toughness 7, looking for 3s to wound. Alrighty, that's pretty good. I will take that. So that's going to be 3, 6, 7 wounds at AP -3. So this is going to be looking for, whatchamacallit, 6-up saves. Making 2 of them, which is pretty good, but flat 3 damage. That's going to be 15 wounds, which will kill it. So does it explode? On a 6? No 6, so it doesn't explode. So we'll come back to you with the guys getting out. All right, 2 guys, twisted ankles getting out of there. So they are going to be, 2 guys died doing that, but they are now placed, coming out of there, wholly within 3 inches of the hull of the Rhino. That's been changed now, so it has to be wholly within. Although there is a stratagem that you can spend CP on, which allows you to do it wholly within 6 inches. So if your opponent's trying to trap you inside of the burning wreck of your vehicle, you can spend the CP and get within 6 inches, but the models that go out have to roll, and on a 1 or a 2 instead of just the 1, they are dead. So, you know, it gives you the ability to get people out, and then you hope that the dice are on your side, which, like people like me, maybe not so. But now my Impulsor is going to fire his 2 Storm Bolters into this squad over here. So we've got to have 8 shots hitting on 3s. No 1s to reroll because the Primaris Captain would have let him, but nope, nothing there. So these are going to be Strength 4, Toughness 4, looking for 4s to wound. Okie dokie, got 2 wounds there. AP nothing. They are wholly within there, so they are going to have 2-up saves.
All is dust.
So.
How many?
2. Just 2, yeah.
Yeah, all is dust.
2 up because of the cover there. So.
Covering the all is dust as well.
So 1 will die. All right, that's going to be the end of the turn. These guys over here successfully raised the banner on that objective, allowing them to, going forward, I'll be getting points in my secondary for that, which is pretty good. And we do have 1 leadership test to take here. These Rubric Marines lost 3 guys, so on a 6, they will suffer morale. Nope, on a 4, he's good to go. So they're good to go. If he had failed it, 1 would leave, and then we'd have to roll with the new morale test, 1d6 for each of the models in there. They hadn't lost more than 50%, so it would only be, they're not down to less than half strength, so they would have just been, on a 1, models would have left, but if they were down to half strength, a 1 or a 2 would have them running away. So, but they're good to go since they passed this. And we would have been good to go. We also have, they are in coherency. Everybody's in coherency. We're good to go. So that is going to be it for the Dark Angel's turn here. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Thousand Suns here on turn 1. All right, so movement phase for the Thousand Suns here on turn 1. Ahriman is looking to mess up my flyer back over here. These guys moved up to the 2nd floor of the building over here. His Exalted Sorcerer on the disc flew over onto the objective, and the guys inside of the Rhino disembarked over here. Then the Rhino moved around the corner over there, looking to get some shots down on my Outriders, I imagine. And then his other Rhino over here, with guys still inside, moved up over this way and looking through the arch over there. Since he is on the terrain, therefore he can draw line of sight through it. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. Start out the psychic phase, his icon of flame over here is going to go into my Outriders. So on a 6, he'll do a mortal wound. No mortal wound there. And then this one over here is going to go into my flyer. So again, looking for a 6. No. So moving on, this guy, his Exalted Sorcerer, is going to cast Smite into my flyer. So he needs a 5 to go off. And on a 7, it will. So it's going to be D3 mortal wounds. Doing 1 mortal wound. Sorry, that was his Aspiring Sorcerer from the squad of Rubric Marines over here. So now this Exalted Sorcerer is going to cast Smite into my flyer. On a 5, because he's got Brotherhood Psychers. That is going to go off with an 11, so that's going to be D6 mortal wounds. Here we go.
Yes!
Getting 5 mortal wounds. All right, now the Exalted Sorcerer, the Aspiring Sorcerer from this squad of Rubric Marines is going to Smite into my flyer.
On a 5.
On a 5, going off with a 10. That's almost another super smite. So D3 mortal wounds. It's going to do 1 mortal wound. And now Ahriman is going to smite into my flyer as well. He gets +1 to this roll. And on 11, that's super smite. D6 mortal wounds. 5. He is dead. But does he explode? Let's find out. No, on a 5, he does not. All right, so now my opponent's going to spend 1 CP on the Great Sorcerer to allow him to cast another power. So usually he could cast 2 powers, right? But my opponent didn't want to use his second power when this flyer was still around. But then everything kind of worked out in favor and the flyer was gone. So he decided to spend this to allow him to cast an additional power. So because the way Psychic Phase works now, you have to use all of the Psyker's abilities. You can't bounce back and forth between Psykers doing what they do. You have to use their ability. You have to use all of their abilities, and if you don't, then you just have to move on and forget about it. But my opponent spent the 1 CP on the Great Sorcerer to allow him to cast an additional psychic power at the end of the phase. So he's going to cast Warp Time onto these dude bros over here. So on a 6. Ooh, Perils. Do you want to spend CP to re-roll that? If you do, you have to roll both dice, because that's the way the new CP works. So, all right, so my opponent's going to spend a CP, allow him to re-roll that. You have to re-roll the whole roll now into a 7, so he's good to go, and no perils. Well done on the CP usage there. So he'll move. We'll come back to you with that. All right, so into the shooting phase. He is going to start us off by shooting into my Outriders. So a discussion about the terrain rules here. Each terrain piece will have a category and then sub-traits afterwards. The category will let you know when a model can receive the benefits of cover, and the traits will let you know what those benefits are. So for instance, this battlefield debris here is considered to be obstacles, and it's shown in one of the examples that they give in the main rulebook. It's considered to be an obstacle. Obstacles allow infantry, swarm, and beasts within 3 inches of it to gain the benefit of cover. It also has the whatchamacallit. It has the benefits. It also has exposed position, which is one of the traits. which says that a unit never gains the benefit of cover on top of it, but if it's behind it, it receives the benefit of cover. It'll have a +1 to its save. So, in this case, the bikers, the category determines if you get it, and then the trait determines what you get for it. So because the bikers don't have infantry keyword, they don't gain the benefit, they can't gain the benefit from being behind the obstacles, regardless of what the trait actually says. So they do not get the benefit of cover. So we're gonna start now with them just firing into them with his, what are we doing first? The Havoc Launchers? Havoc Launcher first. So it's gonna be D6 shots.
Looks like
Gonna be 4 shots. These are going to be hitting on 3s because heavy doesn't matter for vehicles anymore. It's only infantry.
And you get no cover things.
Yep. So hitting on 3s, that's gonna be all hits. Strength 5, toughness 5, so looking for 4s to wound. That's gonna be 1 wound, AP nothing, so a 3-up armor save. He's good with a filth phase. Woo! And then he has 2 combi bolters, so these are gonna be not in rapid fire range, so these are also gonna be hitting on 3s. That's gonna be 2 hits, strength 4, so looking for 5s to wound. No wounds. All right, so now this Rhino here is gonna fire everything at my Outriders as well. He does have Infernal Bolts on there, which would be AP -2, so I decided to spend 1 CP on High Speed Focus, which is a stratagem from the Ritual of the Damned Psychic Awakening book for Ravenwing units, and GW's already stated that the bikers are gonna get Ravenwing and the Blade Guard veterans are going to be getting Deathwing, so we're playing them as though they have the Ravenwing rules here. They are going to be able to benefit from Jink even though they didn't advance until my next movement phase. So he's going to have a 4-up invul save. Won't matter against his Havoc Launcher, but against those Inferno Bolts, it will be helpful. So here comes the Havoc Launcher first, D6 shots. That is going to be 1 shot, hitting on a 3. That's a hit.
Hey.
Strength 5, so 4 to wound. No wound. And he is in double tap range over here, so this is going to be 8 shots from his 2 combi bolters. These are going to be hitting on 3s. Strength 4, so wounding on 5s. That is going to be 2 wounds at AP -2, but I've got a 4-up invul save because of High Speed Focus. And I make 1, failed 1, so that's going to be 1 wound. All right, so now this squad here is going to fire everything into my Outriders as well. So we're going to start with the Soul Reaper Cannon. So it's going to be 4 shots, hitting on 3s because he has steady advance because of all his dust there. So that's still going to be 1 hit. Strength, what is it?
5.
5, so that's not going to be a wound. Pistol from the Aspiring Sorcerer. That is a hit. Strength 4, so 5s to wound. That is a wound.
AP -2.
AP -2 here. 4-up invul save because of Jink. And he's good. And here come the Infernal Bolters. These are going to be, they're all in rapid fire range there, so it's going to be 16 shots. He's going to be hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s because of the Sorcerer that's over there. So that's a bunch of, get the 2s out there. Reroll those 1s into 2 more hits, which is pretty good. These are all going to be strength 4, so looking for 5s to wound with these ones here. That is going to be 2 wounds. So we have 2 4-up invul saves because they are AP -2 because of being Infernal Bolters. Failed them both, so that's 2 more wounds. And now this squad of Rubric Marines is going to fire into my Intercessors over here. So we're going to start with the Soul Reaper Cannon, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s because Ahriman is just in range over there. Pretty good, that's 3 hits. These are now going to be strength 5, so 3s to wound. That's 2 wounds. AP -3 on these, right? So they are infantry, so they do benefit from the obstacles there. So they're going to have +1 to their save, -3 because of the gun there, so they are going to be looking for 5-up saves. Failed both of them, so that's going to be 1 dead guy. Now the pistol from the Aspiring Sorcerer, not going to hit.
Get out double.
And there are 5 guys with bolters there, so it's going to be 10 shots getting to fire in over here. These are going to be hitting again on 3s, rerolling 1s because of Ahriman. Not bad, although the reroll didn't help. And then these are going to be strength 4, so 4s to wound. That is going to be 3 wounds. AP -2 +1 because of cover, so looking for 4-up saves. Making 2 of them with fill faces. All right, that's gonna be it for the Thousand Suns here on turn 2. That's it for shooting. He's still got a bunch of stuff that's coming in from reserve, so we'll have to see. I think next turn's gonna be pretty painful, but we'll see how it goes. So that's gonna be the end of turn 1 here for the Thousand Suns. We will come back to you with the beginning of turn, after the movement phase for the Dark Angels on turn 2. All right, so at the end of the command phase, let me start with that here. I scored 15 points for the primary mission because I control an objective, I control 2 objectives, and I control more objectives than my opponent, which gives me 15 points. There's 5 for each of those. Then I have my secondary Vital Ground, which is I score 2 victory points for each objective that I hold that was outside of our deployment zones. My Outriders were back over here at the time, and these guys were over here. So I got me 4 points for that, and these guys had raised the banner last turn, so at the end of my command phase, I scored a point for that, which gives me grand total of 20 points right now for my points here. So also at the end of the movement phase, I should say my captain over here is going to be raising the banner, or trying to raise the banner on that objective there. So let's get into movement. These guys back here stayed on their objective because I want to be holding that, getting points for that. My intercessors and my Primaris Lieutenant moved up over this way onto this objective over here. My Outriders moved up, looking face to face to look to get into all sorts of scuffle over there with the Rubric Marines. I kept everything over here, stood still. Sammael decided to be super aggressive and advanced over here. I spent 1 CP on Speed of the Raven. I got that command point back, and my opponent, oh no, didn't get a command point for that one, but there was another command point that was spent that you will see in a second, because my Black Knights moved up here and I spent 2 CP on Combined Assault, which allowed this Deathwing unit to drop with wholly within 6 inches of my bike squad here, and more than 6 inches away from my opponent's units over here. So they're more than 6 inches away. He's like a half inch away from them, and he's like 6 inches from them. And they got to drop down here. That was 2 CP, and my opponent rolled and got a CP back for that because of his Warlord trait on this guy over here. Spent an extra command point on that one, right? Did you get that? Yeah. That's Helm, the helm of the Third Eye helm, or whatever it is. So yeah, that's the move. Oh no, one more thing. And from strategic reserves, my Eradicators came in over here. So they had to arrive wholly within 6 inches of a table edge. Because it's turn 2, they have to be outside of my opponent's deployment zone, and you can't measure from your opponent's deployment edge. So it had to be one of the 3 other edges, and that's at all times coming in, you have to do that. But you can't be within your opponent's deployment zone coming in turn 2 because of that. So they are going to be right over here, which is pretty cool because they are looking down over here, and they have to be 9 inches away from your opponent there. So that is going to be the end of the movement phase. Like I said, he's going to be raising the banner over here, which means his aura doesn't count, so he's not going to give the reroll 1s over there, but they stood still, so Grim Resolve will kick in. So that's the end of the movement phase. I have no Psychers, so we'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so over here, Sammael is now going to fire into the Rubric Marines. So the reason that I'm shooting into them is this. He's a character, but he's more than 3 inches away from the unit, which means that he is, I can actually shoot at him if I could draw a line of sight. But this terrain piece here, we had agreed is Ruins, which has Obscuring, which means that if it's more than 5 inches tall, you can't draw a line of sight to it onto the base without moving over the terrain piece itself. Then you can't draw a line of sight to him. So, because this is also area terrain, the base we agreed was the base of the terrain. So Sammael cannot draw line of sight to him, to Ahriman over here, without going over the base there, which means that you cannot draw line of sight. So again, it's not realistic, not true line of sight, but that was what the change was made to create more line of sight blocking opportunities. So Sammael cannot shoot him, even though the character rule is not in effect since he's more than 3 inches away from any other unit. So I'm just going to be firing into those guys up there. So we're going to start with the Twin Heavy Bolter. These are going to be hitting on 2s because there's no penalty for moving. And I spent Speed of the Raven, so he's just regular shooting. Rerolling 1s because of himself. All right, that's going to be all hits. Strength 5, Toughness 4, looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at AP -1. That is going to be 1 dead Marine. And now Sammael is going to have his twin assault cannons firing into them. These are going to be hitting on 2s again. That's going to be all hits. Strength 6, so again, 3s to wound. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wounds at AP -1 because it's the assault doctrine. But because of that, they're going to be ignoring because they get the benefit of cover. Also, they have all his dust, so they're going to have 2-up saves going in over here. Failing another 3 of them, so that's 3 more Marines dead. So now my intercessors are going to fire into them. They are going to have rapid fire here. So it's going to be 8 shots coming in here. They're going to be hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s because of Grim Resolve. Because it's the Assault Doctor now on turn 2, they are going to be AP -2. So he has all his dust, which gives him +1 save against weapons that are only damage 1. And he also gets the benefit of cover for being in area terrain there with light cover. So he's going to have +2 to his save, -2 to his save. They're going to be 3-up saves for any of these. But I've got a hit and wound still to go. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of Grim Resolve. Pretty good there. These are now Strength 4, Toughness 4, so looking for 4s to wound. Ooh, not as good there. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 at 3-up saves. Failing 2 more. Now my Impulsor is going to fire his 2 Storm Bolters into him over here. 8 shots because he's in rapid fire range, hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of Grim Resolve, since that got added to that with the Ritual of the Damned. These are now going to be wounding on 4s. Okay. 3 wounds. AP nothing, so that's going to... Oh no, AP -1.
He doesn't have the...
Oh, he doesn't have all his dust? So, but he does get cover.
Yep.
But it's AP -1 because of Assault Doctrine. So that is now going to be looking for 3-up saves. Ooh, and he fails that one.
All right, I'm on a Soul Flare.
1 second here. And my opponent's going to spend 1 CP on Soul Flare. Essentially, when an aspiring sorcerer is killed, before moving him, you roll a D6 for every unit within 6 inches of him. What is it, -1? Or what is it, +1?
Straight up 4.
Oh, just a 4+
Yep.
on characters and vehicles. So he's both. So it's going to be on a 4+. Sammael will take a mortal wound. Oh, and he takes a mortal wound. All right, so now the Eradicators over here are going to fire into his Rhino over here. So their guns are assault 24 inches. They get to, they fire 1 shot, their assault 1, 24 inches, strength 8, AP -4. They do D6 damage, and they have the Melter rule, so at half range they get to roll 2 and choose the highest. They also have a special rule that if they all shoot at the same target, then they get to fire twice. So they're all going to fire into this Rhino over here. So that's going to be 6 shots from their weapons. These are going to be hitting on 3s.
There's dudes in there.
That's going to be all hits. Strength 8, looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 4 wounds. Do you have any invul save? No, so they are just going to be, that's just going to be all going through. So that's 4 of them there. So now we're going to be rolling damage, taking the highest. The first one is going to do 6 damage. The second one, it's going to do 6 damage. Never mind, it's dead. So, does it explode? Oh, I don't think anyone's within 6 inches anyway, so explode doesn't make a difference. But the other guys didn't explode anyway. So we'll come back to you with the guys getting out.
So one guy ate it.
And they disembarked over here. One guy twisted an ankle getting out, and then all of his dust fell out. So, so that is where they ended up there. So moving on, these guys over here are going to fire into them with their rapid fire bolters here. So these are bolt rifles. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. No rerolls because they did move. And these are going to be strength 4, toughness 4, looking for 4s to wound. These get to reroll 1s because of the Primaris Lieutenant over there. Nope, not meant to be this turn, so that's going to be 4. These are AP -2 because of the Assault Doctrine, +1 because of all his dust, +1 because of +1 because of all his dust, +1 because they are wholly within cover over there. So it's going to be +2, -2, 3-up saves. Failing 2 of them. And now my Outriders are going to fire into this unit as well. 2 of them are in rapid fire range. So that's going to be 10 shots total coming from that squad, hitting on 3s. Okay. These are going to be wounding on 4s. Oof. 1. But AP -2, so it's going to be a 3-up save. He's good. All right, so now these guys over here are going to fire into them. They're within 30 inches, so they're going to be firing 10 shots because of bolter discipline. I forgot about that. I almost only shot 5 shots, but they didn't move, so they get bolter discipline. So it's going to be 10 shots coming into them over there, hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because they stood still, but there ain't no 1, so nothing there. Wounding on 4s. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds. AP -2, +2 because of various dusts and cover. Looking for 3s. Oh, that is rough. 4 dead. All right, so my Primaris Lieutenant over here, I think I mistakenly called it a plasma pistol. It is a Neo-Volkite pistol, and he is going to fire it into this squad over here. It is 15-inch range. It's got pistol 2, so it's going to have 2 shots here. Strength 5, AP 0, 2 damage apiece. So they won't get all his dust, but they will still get cover. So it works out to the same thing, 2-up save. But every unmodified wound roll of a 6 does an additional mortal wound, which is pretty awesome. So here we go. 2 shots, hitting on 2s. That's gonna be 2 hits. Wounding, strength 5, looking for 3s to wound. That is gonna be a fill face and a 5, so it's gonna be 1 mortal wound, so 1 will be dead. And then you've got 2 2-up saves because of cover, and it's AP 0. Making both of those, but 1 is dead from the mortal wound. All right, so now my Black Knights are going to fire into his Rubric Marines over here. I'm not going to supercharge because Sammael's over there doing his own fancy things. So these are going to be 12 shots. Since I'm not supercharging, I can just do it all together. These are going to be hitting on 3s, no rerolls. All right, good thing. That would have been possibly 2 guys dead there. Not a bad roll there. Strength 7, so wounding on 3s. Oh, buddy. That's painful. So that's going to be 4 at AP -3. He does get +1 because of all his dust, so there's going to be 5 up, which is what his invul save was anyway. Making 1, so 3 are dead. All right, so that's it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase. We're going to start with my Deathwing Knights charging into his Rubric Marines and into his Sorcerer over here. My opponent's going to spend 1 CP to Overwatch with the Rubric Marines here. So we're going to start with the Reaper autocannons. Hitting on 6s.
Reroll 1s.
No 6s, but reroll the 1 because of the...
Yes!
There we go, that's 1 hit.
Strength 5.
Strength 5, so looking for a 3 to wound.
Yes.
That is a wound.
-3 AP.
-3 AP, so it's going to be a 3-up invul save because of their Storm Shields there. Because the Storm Shields are... They've mentioned... The Storm Shield is different on the Primaris Lieutenant that comes with the Indominus box, but they've said that it's specific to its data sheet there. So we're going to keep going with a 3-up invul save instead of what they have going on there. So 3-up save. Ooh, failed that. So that is going to be 1 damage there. And here come the Bolters and Bolt Pistol because they're all the same. Just getting them in there. So hitting on 6s, rerolling 1s. Hitting on 6s, no 1s to reroll, but a fair number of 6s, which is pretty good. 4 of them. These are strength 4, so toughness 4, looking for 4s to wound. AP -2. That's going to be all wounds there. So that's 4 3-up invul saves. Oh! Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing that happened. All right, so I think 2.5 Deathwing Knights dead was well worth the 1 CP there. So they now need a 6-inch charge to get into both units over here. So looking for a 6-inch charge, and on an 8, they'll be in. And now my Outriders are going to charge into his Rubric Marines. They're way in. And then over here, Sammael is going to charge into Ahriman, getting very, very spicy. And 11 inches will get him in. All right, we're gonna start off the fight phase now with Sammael attacking into Ahriman. I am going to have 6 attacks on the charge because of shock assault, and these are going to be hitting on 2s because that's what Sammael does. That's gonna be all hits. On the charge, he is strength ×2, so it's gonna be strength 8. These are going to be AP minus 3, 2 damage apiece. So here we go. Wounding on 2s. That is going to be 5 wounds at AP minus 3. So he has a 3-up invul save. And he's got, how many wounds left? He's got 3 wounds left. So if he fails 2 of these, he's dead. Or he could just boss them all and just be a total badass. Oof, that's going to be painful. All right, so my opponent's going to spend 2 CP to counter strike here with his sorcerer into my Deathwing Knights. So he's going to roll here. He's got 4 attacks, hitting on 2s. Rerolling 1s for himself, correct?
For himself, yeah. Woo. Oh no!
All right, not meant to be on those rerolls.
Can I have a shirt?
Yeah, you get a shirt there. Just I've got a shirt for that over there. Even though you didn't spend CP, I'll still count it. Yeah. So now these ones here, he's gonna have strength plus 2 on the staff. So these are going to be wounding on 3s. So that's gonna be 1 wound. AP minus 1, I believe. Correct?
No.
Let me see. I think it's gonna be a 3-up save. Unless it's nothing. On a 5, I'm good to go. And the disc wound, no wound there. Okay. And now we're gonna go with my Outriders into the Rubric Marines. They've got 10 attacks on the charge here, 2 attacks each, plus 1 for 2 attacks each, 3 attacks for the sergeant, plus 1 because of shock assault each. So these are gonna be hitting on 3s. Okie dokie, not bad. These are going to be wounding on 4s, strength 4, toughness 4. That is going to be 3 wounds. These are AP minus 1 because they are Astartes. Oh, actually, I've got 3 more attacks. I'm sorry, because of the Astartes chainswords. I knew at the AP. All right, so it's gonna be 4 wounds at AP minus 1 because of the Astartes chainswords. Plus 1, or is all of dust include shooting, or is it only shooting, or is it also include?
It's wounds. Period.
It's just attacks, damage in it. Okay, so. Just wounds there, so it's going to be AP minus 1, plus 1 because of all his dust, so it's going to be looking for 4 3-up saves.
4?
Yes, 4. Failing 3 of them. All right, so now my Deathwing Knights are going to fight. I'm going to spend 1 CP on Fury of the First, which gives them plus 1 to hit, and they're going to attack in. So they piled in. These 3 over here are going to go into the Rubric Marines, and these 5 are going to go into his character over here. So we're going to start over here with the Knightmaster. He's got 3 attacks base, plus 1 for the charge, and he is going to attack into them. So he's going to have 4 attacks, hitting on 2s. That's going to be all hits. Good thing I spent that CP. These are going to be strength 6, so wounding on 3s. It's AP minus 3, 2 damage apiece, so they don't get all his dust. That's going to be 2 wounds at AP, so it's going to be 5-up invuls or armor save, I guess. Oh no, minus 3, so 5-up invul saves. Makes 1, fails 1. It's 2 damage, but it carries through, so it's going to kill 2 models. And then we'll do the 2 maces into that guy over there. So it's going to be hitting on 2s. That's going to be all hits. Wounding on strength. What is it? Strength times. Oh, strength 10. No, strength times 2. So these are going to be wounding on 2s. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. AP minus 2. So these are going to be 5-up saves as well. No all is dust. That's going to be 2. They're dead. And then the other guys with the maces into his dude bro over here. 15 attacks. Hitting on 2s. Okie dokie. And these are going to be toughness 4. So wounding on 2s. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 at AP minus 2. So it's going to be 11 5-ups. Or does he have a 4-up invul? No, so 5-up.
Ain't that good.
And these are 3 damage apiece, so I think if he fails 2, he's dead. Yeah, he's dead.
It's all over.
All right, that's not a bad roll for the 5-ups there, but not enough. So he is dead. All right, so now Ahriman is going to fight into Sammael over here. He's going to have 5 attacks, correct?
Yep, all on 2s.
All on 2s. Hitting, rerolling 1s because of himself.
Reroll 1.
Reroll 1.
And everybody allowed.
That's all hit.
Even if
he's actually got 1 more attack because of Vengeful Strike over there. So that's a hit. So that's going to be 5 hits with the staff and 1 with the disc. So with the disc goes second. That's going to go second because that's the staff and after the other one. So that's all good.
Okay.
So here we go. These are going to be strength plus 2.
Yep.
So strength 6, looking for 4s to wound. Getting 2 wounds. AP minus 1. What's up? One second. All right, my opponent's gonna spend a CP to re-roll one of those because that's one of the ones that you can. No, not gonna be wound there. So that's gonna be 2 wounds.
And another shirt.
2 wounds at AP minus 1. So these are going to be looking for 4-up saves because of either Iron Halo or armor save. Fail them both. Obviously, this is 3 damage apiece. So I'm gonna have to spend a CP to re-roll one of those myself. Not gonna do it with the 1!
You get a shirt too.
Oh, I get a shirt as well. So, we will... He's dead. Does he explode?
Yes.
He does explode! Doing a mortal wound to Ahriman over here. So, he takes a wound as well. Take it! That's what you get! Do I get my CP back? I don't. Okay, fair enough. Alright, I'm gonna spend 2 CP on Only in Death Does Duty End because he's a character and he's gonna attack back. Let's try to take down Ahriman as he took me down. So that's gonna be 6 attacks hitting on 2s. Rerolling because of himself. That is good hits. Wounding on 2s because he did charge this phase. That is gonna be all but 1 wound there. So it's gonna be 5 wounds at AP minus 3. 5 3-up saves. Oh, and Ahriman goes down as well. Everybody goes down. All right, so that's gonna be it for the Dark Angel's turn here. I did score, I maxed out my secondary in Abhor the Psyker because I got 5 points for killing his character there, 5 points for killing Ahriman over here, and I got 3 points each for the two Rubric Marine squads that I killed there. So it comes to I think it came to more than 15, but 15 is the max that I can get there. So we've got that, which is pretty good. Puts me at a pretty decent lead here, but that can shift pretty heavily depending upon what happens going forward. We do have one morale test to take over here on these guys, right? Or are you going to spend the 2 CP?
No, wait, don't.
All right, so my opponent's going to spend 2 CP on Insane Bravery, but now Insane Bravery no longer, you can only use it once per game now, as opposed to once per phase. So he can that's it. The rest of the game can't use Insane Bravery, but it's probably pretty good to keep that unit alive, to keep some units going over there trying to get that. So that will be it for the Dark Angel's turn 2. Pretty brutal turn 2, but we will come back to you after movement phase for the Thousand Suns here on turn 2. All right, movement phase for the Thousand Suns here. His Rhino moved around over this way. This unit of Rubric Marines over here stood still, and then out of Deep Strike reserves comes boom, boom, and boom, his Terminators dropping down over here. So they are going to drop down here more than 9 inches away from me and see what they can do. So that's it for the movement phase. I forgot to mention that over here, my captain had raised the flag successfully over there. So I've got 2 flags raised at this point. Because of that was at the end of my turn. He successfully did that. So, and at the beginning of the command phase, my opponent didn't score any of the primaries because he wasn't holding any objectives. So now we will come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so starting off, this guy over here is going to smite into my intercessors. Looking for 5. That will go off. D3. 2 mortal wounds. Same thing over here. That will go off. D3. 3. And then these guys are going to smite into my Eradicators. That will go off with a 9. D3 mortal wounds. 2 mortal wounds. They've got 3 wounds apiece, so still alive. Okay. And then he's going to smite into my intercessors over there. So look for 5. And it goes off. Ooh, almost a super smite. But D3, given 3.
Gonna be a 9.
And now my opponent's going to spend 1 CP for the Great Sorcerer to allow him to cast Bolt of Change into them over there. So he's looking for a 9 for this to go off. Does not go off. Are you going to spend it? All right, going to spend a CP.
I got to roll them both, correct?
Yes, got to re-roll them. So,
if I
one
get
second.
back,
All right, so here he goes. Oh, and it fails, and it fails. So he dies, and then I think 1 second. All right, so this is a Psyker unit, so they're going to suffer D3 mortal wounds. They're going to suffer 1 mortal wound. Sounds good. All right, so now into the shooting phase. We're going to start with his Soul Reaper shooting into my intercessors here. 5 shots. 4 shots, I'm sorry. That's going to be hitting on 3s, so it's going to be 2 hits. Strength 5, so 3s to wound, getting 1 wound. AP minus 3 plus 1 because they are in cover there, so it's going to be looking for a 5-up save. No, not going to make it. And then 16 shots with the Combi Bolters over here. Are the Infernus combi bolters? Infernal combi bolters?
Oh yeah, they're -2.
-2 AP. All right, here we go. These are going to be hitting on 3s. Come back to you with that. Strength 4. So here we go. Force to wound. Come back to you with that. 8 saves. AP -2 +1 because of cover. Looking for 4-up saves. And I fail 1, 2, 3. So one guy is still alive. All right, so now this squad here is going to fire into my Eradicators. So we're going to go with the Soul Reaper Cannon first, hitting on 3s. That's going to be 3 hits. Strength 5, Toughness 5, because they've got Gravis Armor, so 4s to wound. That's going to be all 3 wounds.
-3.
AP -3, +1 because they're in cover over there. So this is going to be looking for 5-up saves. And I make none of them. Oof, brutal. And now we've got the combi bolters. These are going to be 16 shots, hitting on 3s. Come back to you with that. And then strength 4, toughness 5, so looking for 5s to wound. It was 5 wounds, AP -2, but +1 because of cover, so looking for 4-up saves. And I make all but 1. And then this squad over here, the Soul Reaper Cannon is going to fire into my Eradicator, and then the rest of the guns are going to fire into my Lone Intercessor back over here. So we're going to go with the Eradicator first with the Reaper Autocannon. That's going to be 3 hits, wounding on 4s. That's going to be 2 wounds.
-3.
AP -3, +1 because of cover. Looking for 5-up saves. Fail them both. And then the Infernus Combi Bolters into my dude bro over here. 16 shots. And then wounding on 4s. And now 6 saves, AP -2, +1 because of cover. No, he did. And then this Rubric Marine squad is going to fire into my Eradicators over here. We're going to go with the pistol first. No hit. And then we've got the Reaper Autocannon. That's going to be 3 hits. Looking for 4s to wound because strength 5, toughness 5. No, 1 wound there. AP -3, +1 because he's in cover. So looking for a 5-up save. No, he is dead. And then his Rhino over here is going to fire into my Intercessors over here. They're more than 3 inches away from the barrier between there, so they don't get the benefit of cover. So we're going to go with the Havoc first. They have 5 shots here. These are going to be hitting on 3s. That is going to be all but 1 hit. Strength 5, so 3s to wound. That is going to be 4 wounds. AP nothing, so they're going to have 3-up saves. Failing 2 of them. And the Combi Bolters firing into him. Hitting on 3s, and then wounding on 4s. Ooh, that's 1. 3-up save, and he makes it. All right, so that is going to be it for the Thousand Suns turn here on turn 2. We will come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels on turn 3. All right, so turn 3 here. Command phase, technically, I got a CP. I also got 15 points again for the primary because I controlled 1, controlled 2, and controlled more than my opponent. I also got 2 points for raise the banner since the banner is raised here and the banner is raised over here. And I got 7 points for vital ground because I got 2 points for this, 2 points for that, 3 points for that one. So that's it for the command phase. Into the movement phase now, my Intercessor squad and captain who were over there jumped into my Impulsor who advanced up this way, rolled a 1 for advance and I don't think I can re-roll that with the stratagem anymore. But that's fine, they moved there. My Black Knights moved up over there, drawing some line of sight into these guys over here. These guys stood still, and at the end they will raise the banner at the end of the movement phase. Over here, my Outriders moved up over this way, and my Lieutenant moved back over this way towards the objective there, and to make sure that he's not the closest unit for these guys to be shooting at. So, that is going to be it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so my Black Knights are going to start it up. Because he is in the terrain, I can draw a line of sight to him through the wall, looking through the door over there. So I'm going to shoot into this unit. I'm going to spend 1 CP on Weapons of the Dark Age, making them damage 2, which means all his dust is not a thing over here. So we are going to shoot at them with them over here. So these are going to be 12 shots hitting on 3s. No rerolls, but does not explode either, which is nice. That's why I did the Weapons of the Dark Age instead of supercharging. And these are going to be Strength 7, Toughness 4. So looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage, or 6 wounds. at AP -3, Invul 5 up. Making 2 of them, 2 damage apiece. That's going to be 4 dead. All right, so my intercessors here are going to fire into the Rubric Marines. 6 shots with their bolt rifles, hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of Grim Resolve. Nope, not meant to be. And these are going, oh, that's a 2 as well. Wounding on 4s. That is going to be 2 wounds at AP -2 because it's still the Assault Doctor. Okay. 3 up saves because of all his dust and terrain. 1 is dead. And then my lieutenant's going to fire his Volkite pistol into them. Re-rolling. No, he did move. So it's 1 hit. That is a wound. AP nothing, so 2 up save. He good. And now my Outriders are going to fire into his Terminators over here. So they're going to have 1 guy's in rapid fire range. The other 2 are not. So it's going to be looking for 3s to hit. Okie dokie. And then strength 4, looking for 4s to wound. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds. AP -2, +1 because of all his dust since it's 1 damage, so looking for 3 ups. Failing 1 of them. All right, so now my Outriders in the Assault phase are going to charge into his Aspiring Sorcerer over there. And they're in. All right, so my Outriders here are going to attack into him here. They've got 10 attacks on the charge. No, they don't. They've got 13 attacks on the charge because I forgot about the Astartes chain swords. Hitting on 3s. Alrighty. And then these are going to be strength 4, so 4s to wound. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. AP -1. The Aspiring Sorcerer is the only one there. He does not have all his dust, so it's going to be looking for AP -1 is 4 up saves. No, he is dead. All right, so I consolidated into his Rhino over here, who will now attack me. So he's got 3 attacks, hitting on 6s, getting 1 hit, wounding on, I believe, whoa, let's find out. Strength 6, so 3s to wound. That is a wound. AP nothing, so looking for a 3 up save. He's good. All right, so at the end of the turn here, I do raise the banner over there, and we do have 1 morale test to take. Over here, 9. He lost 4 guys. He's leadership 9. Yep. So looking for not a 6. He's good to go. All right, movement phase for the Thousand Suns here on turn 3. His Rubric Marines here moved their 4 inches up around this way. These, not Rubric Marines, the Scarab Occult Terminators moved over this way, and this guy moved up this way. His Rhino stayed in combat with my Outriders because he wants to be able to shoot, since he can. His the Havoc Launcher can't shoot because it is a blast weapon, but the Combi Bolters will be able to shoot because of Beguns Never Tire because he is a vehicle. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the Psychic phase. All right, starting off over here, he is going to smite into my Repulsor. He gets it. D3 mortal wounds. Getting 2. And then this squad's going to do the exact same thing. That's going to go off. That's going to do 1. And then these guys are going to get it into my Intercessors. Ooh, that is a peril. So you're going to spend a CP? All right, going to spend a CP to reroll it. Got to reroll both. Not that I think you're upset about that. And that goes off. Here we go. D3 mortal wounds because he's Brotherhood Striker. That's why he gets to ignore the +1. 2 damage. And then my opponent's going to spend 1 CP for Bolt, or not for Bolt of Change, for Great Sorcerer to cast Bolt of Change into my Impulsor over here. So here we go.
I need a 9. I already burned my reroll.
Needs a 9. Will not get it with a 6. All right, so now his Rhino over here is going to fire into my Outriders because tanks can do that now. Can't fire the Havoc Launcher because the Havoc Launcher is a blast weapon, but the other weapons are going to fire here, the Combi Bolters. So here we go, hitting on 3s. It's pretty good. Wounding on, actually that was, I think, maybe a little less than 6. I don't know why I said that's pretty good. But wounding on 5s, here we go. Getting 2 wounds, AP -2 because he's got the Infernal Bolts there. So this is going to be looking for 5 up saves. Make neither. And now the Scarab Occult Terminators over here are going to fire. He's going to declare with the Combi Bolters into my Intercessors. He's going to declare with the Reaper Autocannon into my dude bro, what's his face? Into my Lieutenant over here. you can do that now. You can make the declaration. But if those combi bolters don't kill those intercessors, he just loses the shots from the Reaper autocannon. So here we go. So we're going to go, and he's also going to spend 1 CP on Veterans of the Long War. So we're going to go with the bolters first. These are going to be hitting on 3s. All right, and then because of Veterans of the Long War, these will be wounding on 3s. All right, so they're AP -2. 9 of them going into them. AP -2 +1 because of the obstacle there. Looking for 4-ups. I fail 4, so that's enough to kill my 2 intercessors there. All right, the gamble worked, because now the Soul Reaper is going to fire into my lieutenant over there. 4 shots, hitting on 3s. That is going to be 3 hits. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be able to kill him anyway, so I think he's got 5 wounds.
Okay.
All right, so we got 3 hits there. Strength 5, toughness 4, so 3s to wound. That is going to be 1 wound. So, he's got a Storm Shield that specifically says +1 to his save and a 4-up invul save. So his save would become a 2-up, -3 to a 5, but that becomes a 4-up. So what did we say was, how many wounds was that? 1 save, just 2. 2 wounds. 2 4-up invul saves. He makes 1, fails 1, so he takes a wound. And these Scarab Occult Terminators are going to fire into my Impulsor over here. We're going to go with the bolters first. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. And these are going to be Strength 4, Toughness 7, so looking for 5s to wound. That was 5. That was real good. AP -2, so looking for 4-up saves. No, what am I talking about? -2, so that's going to be 5-up saves. And I make 3 of them. That's not bad. Look at your big roll and then my big roll in response. I'll take that. So 2 wounds. And here comes the Reaper Assault, Reaper autocannon. No, Reaper, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. All 4 hits. Strength 5, so 5s to wound still. That is going to be 1 wound. AP -3, 6-up save. No. And then he's going to fire into him as well. That's going to be 1 hit. And then wounding on a 5. Hey, that's a wound. That's not a save. All right, so that's going to be it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase, he's going to charge into my repulsor. It's -2 to the charge, so he needs a 4. Oh, he's way in. And then his run over here that killed off the guy that he was engaged with is going to charge into my Outriders. I'm going to spend the 1 CP to Overwatch, looking for 6s. Rerolling 1 because of Grim Resolve. That is going to be 4 hits. I'll take that. But Strength 4, Toughness way more than 4, so 5's a wound. Getting 1 wound there. AP -2 because it's still the assault, whatever phase, the second one there. Okay. Makes it with a 5. You're all double 6s on that charge. He's way in. And my opponent's gonna spend warp 1 CP on Warp Flame Gargoyles over here on a 4-up. Is it?
Yep.
On a 4-up, he will be doing D3 mortal wounds. Here we go. On a 6, he'll be doing D3 mortal wounds to my squad here. D3 mortal wounds. Wait.
Make some dice here.
D3 mortal wounds.
Oh.
3 mortal wounds. He killed an entire outrider. That's pretty good. All right, so now his sorcerer here, or his Aspiring Sorcerer here, is going to start us off in the fight phase. He's got 3 attacks because of Vengeful Charge. So he is going to now attack into my Repulsor here, hitting on 3s. There's going to be 3 hits, Strength +2, so he's looking for 5s to wound. That is going to be 1 wound, AP -1, 4-up save. Yeah, he good. Woo! And then his Rhino is going to attack over here. 3 attacks, looking for 6s. Getting 2 hits. Oh, dang. Here we go. 3s to wound. That's going to be 2 wounds. 2 3-up saves. And I make them both. So my Impulsor now is going to attack back. He's going to have D3 attacks. Gonna have 2 attacks on 6s. Nah. And now my Outrider Sergeant over here is going to attack back. He's got 3 attacks base, +1 for the charge, or because he got charged, and +1 because of his Astartes Chainsword, hitting on 3s, wounding on 5s, getting 1 wound, AP -1, so he's got a 4-up save. Yeah, he good. All right, so that's the end of the Thousand Suns turn here on turn 3. We will come back to you after a movement phase for the Dark Angels on turn 4. All right, so at the beginning of my Dark Angels turn here, I scored another 15 points because I held this objective over here and that objective over there, which gave me 5 points for holding, 5 points for holding 2, and 5 points for holding more. So that maxed me out on my primary there of 45 points. I also maxed out on Vital Ground because I got an additional 3 points for that and 2 points for that, maxing out that. So I'm maxed out on primary, I am maxed out on Abhor the Psyker, and I'm maxed out on Vital Ground. So I just have, and I did get another 3 points for Raise the Banner for having these 3 banners over here. So that is going to be it for, oh no, so that's going to the command phase there. Into the, and actually over here, you know what? My lieutenant is going to raise the banner on that objective over there. So, at the end of the movement phase. So, then into the movement phase here, we are going to have my impulsor stayed in combat, but these guys inside disembarked. So the intercessors went over there, and my captain went over here. These guys all stood still because they've got line of sight and range on these guys, and getting the reroll to 1 because of Grim Resolve is a good thing. Those guys stood over there because, I mean, they can't move anywhere. They're never going to get anywhere in time to do anything, so they're going to stay over there. And over here, my Outrider fell back out of combat, protecting the lieutenant, who is now stood still, but he is going to raise the banner over there. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the shooting phase. We're going to start off with my Black Knights over here, who are going to be firing into his Scarab Occult Terminators over here. I am going to supercharge with them. They stood still, so they'll get to reroll 1s because of Grim Resolve. So the first one, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. All right, so that's going to be 1 hit, 1 miss, but not a blow up. That's going to be a hit and a miss. Can't reroll 2s because of Grim Resolve. That's going to be a hit and a miss. That's going to be a hit and a miss. That's going to be a miss and a reroll into a miss. Oop, one of these was a miss. And that's going to be 2 more hits. So these are going to be strength 8, wounding on 2s. That is going to be 5 at 5 up invul saves. Oop. Making 2 of them, so 3 will be dead. And then my intercessors are going to fire into them as well. Hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of the captain over there. Alrighty. Strength 4, 4s to wound. No reroll on those. So there's going to be 2 at AP minus 1 now. Yeah, 2 at AP minus 1, plus 1 because of all his dust. So 2 up saves. Making them both. My Impulsor is going to fire into his Dubro over here. He is going to fire the 2 Storm Bolters, hitting on 4s because he's in his second bracket. Rerolling 1s, but there are no 1s to reroll there. And then 4s to wound. That is going to be 1 wound. AP nothing, so 2 up save. He's good. And then my captain over here is going to fire into these Terminators over here. Hitting on a 2. That's a hit. That is a wound. AP minus 1, plus 1 because of all his dust. 2 up save. They're good. That's going to be it for shooting. So into Assault. He's going to charge into this guy over here. And he's in. And now my captain is going to attack in here with his Mastercrafted Power Sword. So he's going to have 6 attacks on the charge, hitting on 2s. That is going to be all hits. Strength plus 1. So this is going to be looking for a 3 to wound. That is going to be 1, 2, 3 wounds at AP minus 3. So we've got 5 up invul saves. He fails 2 of them. He is definitely dead. All right, so that's going to be the end of the Dark Angels turn here. I did successfully raise the banner over there. And then these guys do have to take a leadership test. They lost 3. So 3 plus, oh no, 6 is going to be 9. They can't fail, right? He's got leadership 9. So that is good to go. So that is the end of the Dark Angels turn here on turn 4. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Thousand Suns. All right, movement phase for the Thousand Suns. These guys moved up over this way. These Scarabocult Terminators moved up over this way towards my Outrider, and his tank moved up over this way towards my Outrider and my Lieutenant. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to it the psychic phase. So we're going to smite over here. That will go off. D3. 2. And smite over here. That will go off. D3. 1. All right, into the shooting phase. His Rhino here is going to fire everything into my Outrider. So we're going to go with the Havoc Launcher first. One shot. Hitting on a 3. That's a hit. Strength 5, 4 to wound. No wound. 8 shots with the Combi Bolters. That is going to be all but 1 hit. That is real good there. These are looking for 5s to wound, though, because he's tough 5. Ooh, baby, that's how you do that. 4 of them. There you go. Should have had some dice. AP -2, so looking for 5 out saves. Failed 3 of them, he's dead. And now everything from these guys into my Lieutenant. Soul Reaper autocannon here. That is going to be all but 2 hits. Wounding on 3s, that's 1 wound. AP -3, he's got a 2-up save because of his Storm Shield there. 4-up invul save, though, is the more important part of that. No, fails it.
16 shots.
And the Combi Bolters, 16 shots into him over here. That's pretty good. Strength 4, toughness 4, looking for 4s. 3 wounds, looking for 4-up invul saves because AP -2. And he makes 2 of them, still alive. And then these guys here are going to fire into my Intercessors. So we're going to go with the Soul Reaper cannon here first. That's going to be 2 hits. 3s to wound. Getting 1 wound. AP -3, +1 because they're in cover. That is not a save. And the Combi Bolter. That's going to be 3 hits. 4s to wound. That's going to be 3 wounds.
-2.
AP -2, +1 because of cover. 4-up save. And I make them all! Woo! All right, so now into the charge phase. These Terminators are going to charge into my Intercessors. I'm going to spend 1 CP to Overwatch here, hitting on 6s. Rerolling 1s because of the Captain / Grim Resolve, so that's going to be 2 hits. That's going to be 1 wound. AP -1, +1 because of all his dust. It's going to be a 2-up save.
Yeah. I had Slay the Warlord.
2-up save. Ooh, makes them. Here comes their charge. And they're in.
Yeah.
And here comes the charge from these guys into my Lieutenant. 7-inch charge needed. Ooh,
Reroll.
spending a CP to re-roll that. Here we go. No, does not make it. All right, so I heroically intervened with my Warlord here at the end there. So his guy is going to attack into me over there because that's what got changed here in 9th edition is that when you charge, your targets can be who you charge, declared as a charge, and anybody who heroically intervenes. So I heroically intervened so he could attack me, which is fine. So here we go. He's going to have 3 attacks on the charge here, hitting on 3s. That's going to be 2 hits, strength +1, strength +2, so he's going to be wounding on 3s. That's 2 wounds. AP -1. He's going to have a +1 to the save because of his Relic Shield there, which makes it a 3-up save because of the AP -1. That is going to be 2 saves. And then this guy's going to use his Power Sword into them over there, hitting on 3s. That's going to be all hits. Wounding on 4s. That's going to be 1 wound. AP -3 though, so that's going to be a 6-up save. No. So now my Primaris Captain is going to attack in here. He's going to have 6 attacks on the heroic intervention there. These are going to be hitting on 2s. That is going to be re-rolling 1s because of himself. That is all hits. Strength +1, so wounding on 3s. That is going to be 4 wounds. AP -3. So looking for 5-up saves. No, makes 2 but fails 2. 2 damage apiece, they are dead. All right, so that is the end of the Thousand Suns turn here, and that is where we're going to call the game because you can't catch it back up there. So the Dark Angels did a real good job of doing what they needed to do there. So basically, I played 2 of the objectives and also managed to get a lot of some really key roles when I needed them. So, but it's fun. I'm really liking 9th edition. There's a lot of key things that are going to take some getting used to. specifically terrain rules and figuring out what all of that does and how it interacts and what you can and can't do. But once you get past there, I really think that this is going to be a fun system. So really cool to see a lot of the new models down on the table. We got to see both the new Storm Shield in action, as well as the Relic Shield on the Primaris Captain down here, and to see the Eradicators just make a Rhino disappear, which was kind of fun. So, a ton of fun all around. I was a big fan of those Outriders. I think they're cool. So, I think it'd be good times. But a good time had by all over here. It's good to get back on the table, roll some dice, play with our toys, and have a good time. So, I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent's been Neil. And until next time, stay safe and have fun.